Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, in lieu of the Canelo dominant performance over Jamel Charlo, regardless of what you say, you're a little surprised that it was so much one-way traffic. It is what it is. But hey, some more residue from fights like that. Hey, that fight makes the Terence Crawford versus Canelo fight look a little bit better, right? In a lot of ways. You know, some probably would say worse, but it kind of looks a little bit better, right? Canelo had a dominant performance, right? And, the bar for Terence Crawford right now is kind of low. He's just got to do better than Jamel Charlo did. And that's not really too hard to do, even versus Canelo, even at 168 pounds, right? And I think that Bud Crawford right now would love to fight Canelo, right? Even he said it, because Canelo is back now. He's back. There's no injuries. He's even said nobody can beat him when he's in this form with no injuries, right? So that's the guy that I'm pretty sure I know how Terence Crawford rolls. He's going to even gravitate more to Canelo because of the dominant performance. Now, Canelo's options, right? The Jamal Charlo fight. Nobody going to really want to see the Jamal Charlo fight now, even though he just beat Jamel. Because remember, Jamel is more active. Jamel is the better fighter, right? And Jamal has been off for a while. So it's no way he's going to be able to fight Jamal as next, Jamal Charlo, right? So what are the other options, right? If he ain't going to fight Jamal. So if you're going to stay at 168 pounds, right, then you have the David Morrells of the world, who's a WBA challenger, because he's the regular titleist and he's had it for 2 years. So actually WBA is supposed to be forcing Canelo to fight Morrell. Probably not going to do it. Canelo rules. But then you have the winner from David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. That winner is going to also be the mandatory for the WBC, who actually, David Benavidez is supposed to be the mandatory the whole time anyway. He's the lineal champ in that division. So Canelo will, probably be a little pressure there if David Benavidez win. If Demetrius Andrade win, watch how the pressure just goes away. If Demetrius Andrade beats Benavidez, just remember, because they've done it in worse situations when it was an undisputed fight. So watch, all of a sudden it's not that important to fight the David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade winner. It's like they'll get pressure if David Benavidez wins. So, and Canelo's not going to be able to sell too many people. Now, I told you he wasn't going to fight Dimitri Bivol at 168 pounds. Why wasn't he going to fight Dimitri Bivol at 168 pounds? Because the excuse is gone. The he's a bigger fighter excuse, right? Or I'm not in my weight division excuse. So he wasn't fighting him. Plus, all the titles would have been gone, the undisputed title. So he wants that. So he wasn't fighting Dimitri Bivol. So he's still not going to do that. You see what I'm saying? So that option is gone. He's not going back up to 175 to fight anyone else because everyone would ask him, what's up with Bivol, right? And he's not going to fight Better Biev either. So there's no reason to go up to 175. So he's going to be at 168 pounds, and you can't call out those other guys, right? The Jaime Munguias of the world, a mandatory who wouldn't fight Demetrius Andrade for 2 years, being his mandatory. Barely won against Derenchenko, if at all, and has just been avoided any kind of hard fights throughout his career. Yes, a Mexican fight, but it's not somebody who we think, if everyone else gets asked, if Andrade doesn't deserve a Canelo fight, the Charlos didn't, a David Morrell doesn't, and a David Benavidez doesn't, then the Berlangas in the world who's fighting for Matchroom, who they kind of trying to talk about, the Jaime Munguias, then they don't deserve it either. The Yildirums, the Rory Fieldings and all that, then they don't deserve it either, right? So let's see what happens here. I'm telling you right now that the fight with Terence Crawford, it's going to be a fight where people are going to be a little bit confused here right now. What do they really want? Because at the end of the day, you want to keep these people from these high-profile fights, from these big legendary fights. Because if Crawford went up here now and fought Canelo at 168 pounds and does well against him, then his legacy is enhanced. That's a fight that a lot of people don't want to see what might happen there, just in case. I've seen it happen before. So we're going to be confused here, right? And Let's just see who Canelo's going to fight. I'm just saying right here that the Crawford versus Canelo fight looks a little bit better now. It might as well happen because, like I said, the other options, if we see Canelo fight, only fights that are better than Crawford in terms of competitive, matter of fact, in terms of lucrative, or maybe a David Benavidez, which is probably not even more lucrative, but I'm just saying it in his own division. And David Morrell is not more lucrative, but it's the fight, you're supposed to have if you're going to be at 168. And Demetrius Andrade. People act like that's not lucrative, but it is. You know why? Because years ago, when it was at the middleweight division, Canelo was going to get $40 million for fighting Demetrius Andrade. Then, right? Then. And then fighting for undisputed. So Demetrius Andrade also brings the bag. So those are the fights that are just bigger because they're his same size. Other than that, it is and will be Terence Crawford. People can act like, well, Canelo doesn't win anything by beating Terence Crawford. Oh, contraire. Yes, he does. So that's the only thing really out there that Canelo should do, because everything else he's not going to do. And we don't want to see him fight Munguia, and we don't want to see him fight Berlanga. And if he's back, he should be trying to attack maybe a Morrell or David Benavidez, or the winner between David Benavidez and Andrade, or Bivol. If not, then damn it, Terence Crawford. What do y'all think? Don't Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm out of here, y'all.